Hi, welcome to another episode of Paso KIDS-N-CO. I'm Markie Condra, and today we will be speaking with Rachel Robbins about our Saturday morning classes. So Rachel, can you tell us more about what these classes are for?
These classes are just basically to take anyone's acting abilities, what they have or what they don't have, and harness them and make them stronger and make them more confident with basically anything they do, because acting is performing and you perform in everyday life. Mm-hmm. So we're just taking what they have and all their strengths and putting them on stage and making them feel comfortable.
So are there like age groups in there?
The first camp, which is earlier in the morning, it starts at 9:15 and goes till 10:45, is for 5 to 7-year-olds. It's for the younger kids. They worked better as a group together when, being little. And the second camp, or the second class, which is from 11 to 12:30, is for 8 to 15-year-olds, because they can bond and group them together and help each other more so than they could help 5-year-olds.
So are you a teacher in the camp?
I'm technically an intern, but I like to be able to teach kids things. I'm there to help the teachers, but I help a little with kids acting, which is fun.
Are there any things that they work on? Like, do they put on a show at the end of their camp?
They do. Last camp, we had the older kids do monologues, but that helped for that group of kids, but we're figuring that this time around, we're going to do another play. We're going to put them all in a play, give them each parts, characters, and have them work on building that character and learning the skills to build a character.
So what has your personal experience been since you have been at KIDS-N-CO for a long time now? How has it been for you growing up in this environment?
Well, I've been here for 7 years now, starting my 8th. And I was in the camps and classes from the time I was 10 when I first started till only about last year or 2 years ago. And I think it really helped me learn how to make a character and how to be confident with which character I was going with, and how to take critique also, which is very hard, because if someone says, well, I don't like what you're doing, it's hard to take that and say, oh no, they don't like me. It's not that they don't like you, it's they don't like a choice you made, which is another thing we get taught here. So it's really fun to take everything I've learned and give it back to someone else and give it back to the kids.
How would you say that the kids are reacting to all that sort of criticism and stuff? Is it in a positive way?
First, it's kind of hard because they get all sad and quiet and they're like, oh, you don't like me. But then you say, hey, no, we love you. You're so adorable and you're fun and you have a great character. This maybe just changes here. How about you try this? And you give them another suggestion. And of course they're like, oh, that looks so much cooler. And they'd run with it. And they just figure out a way to make it positive. And little kids are so positive as it is. They're so optimistic and happy and fun with everything they do that it's just great that they learn how to take something that may not seem all that good and just flip it and make it great about themselves.
So what would a normal day at the camp be? Like, how does it start out, and what do they do during the time?
Well, first off, we take everyone into the theater, because usually they clump out in the lobby, talking to the parents, having fun, whatever, watching TV. And we pull them all in, we put them on stage, and we do warm-ups. First vocal, then physical, and then the shakedown. And during that time, I'll take roll just to make sure everyone's here. And if someone's not here, I'll go out into the lobby and call whoever it is. So make sure everyone's there. And then usually the first class, we play games. We teach them stage directions. Sometimes we take them on a tour around backstage, just so everyone knows where everything is. And it depends, because for the older kids, the first day of class, we also have them pick a monologue. That way they can read it over, they can read it a bunch, practice it, and then when they come back the next week, they can perform it for us so we know where to cast them. It's their audition, basically. But for the little kids, we just play games and have them feel more comfortable on stage and make sure that they know what's safe to do on stage, what's not safe to do. Don't jump off the stage, never turn your back to the audience. Small things like that don't seem like they would be all that big to teach, but of course with little kids, they're like, oh, I shouldn't turn my back to the audience? No.
So the older kids, they audition and then you place them into the play so everyone gets in?
Everyone gets in. Because this is a class, we make sure that everyone has a part that fits them, that they'll be able to work on, that they'll be able to grow with. That way, throughout the classes, when we give them critiques, it'll be something maybe they hadn't thought of for that character because they've never played that character. I know when I was in classes here, I got to play at least 6 different types of characters that I had never played. And I was really thankful for that because that means I got to grow.
So along with just acting on stage, are they also learning about tech and costuming and building sets?
Somewhat. That's more summer camp. And more in the Saturday morning acting classes, it's just, here's how you move on stage. Here's how to create a character. That's backstage, but be quiet backstage. They know where tech and costumes are, just so they know not to get hurt by anything back there or not to move anything and not to get in trouble back there. But it's more so focused on the acting and the on stage.
Do you notice how the kids are progressing from when they first start out and at the end, how like they've grown?
Yes. Towards the beginning, everyone's shy and quiet and doesn't want to stand towards the front of the stage, especially during warm-ups. No one wants to be at the front. Everyone wants to be in the back, in the huddle and clumps. But at the end, everyone's everywhere. Everything's loud. Everyone's more confident. They're talking with each other. They're laughing with each other. They're able to get up on stage and say their lines, which is so cool to have a bunch of 6- and 7-year-olds running around and saying the lines that someone has taught them. It's amazing.
It seems like you're doing a lot helping out. So how has that experience been for you?
It's been really great. I was about to say awesome, but awesome is a weird word. Anyway, it's been great. I've learned how to deal with kids. I don't know. That's weird. I'm 17, but I know more so how to teach kids. Whereas before I was just like, hey, just don't do that and do this instead. Whereas actually I can tell them nicer, more friendly maybe, saying, oh, hey, instead of doing this with your character, how about you try this? And give them an idea, and they'll be like, oh, yeah. It's also taught me that every kid is different. Usually before, I mean, like, we all know that everyone's different, uniqueness, whatever. But it's taught me that, yeah, this shy, quiet kid may have a reason they're shy and quiet. They don't like to get on stage because something happened. They don't like being on stage because they're embarrassed on stage before, or they're embarrassed from their school, or they don't want to do it because of this and this and that. Whereas when you're just in the camp, you don't know that.
Right.
They tell the teachers, but they don't tell you. So it's nice to be able to learn how to deal with that and learn how to help kids through that. Whereas before, I didn't know that.
Well, it's been pretty personal between you and some of the kids.
Yes, we had this one little girl who just did not want to play any of the games. She didn't want to do anything. And we're like, hon, what's wrong? Are you okay? She said something along the lines of, oh, well, I was in front of my class one day and they all laughed at me because I stumbled over a word. And it was just, it was heartbreaking because you're like, you're the sweetest kid I've ever met. Why would anyone do that? That's horrible. And I hugged her, and we didn't make her play the games that time. But as the class progressed, she got more and more warmed up to the kids and realized they wouldn't laugh at her unless she was trying to be funny. And so she, lo and behold, got on stage and did her acting, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like it's a really good experience for the kids to be able to have that opportunity for a place to be and to be comfortable with the other people. So after the camp, have you seen any of the kids from the camp coming back to Kids-N-Co to do more?
Of course. Actually, for the older kids, this last session, we had 2 or 3 of the kids come and audition for the latest show that's going on. And then at the end of this camp was the auditions for Aladdin, which another couple kids came. And it was like, wow, these kids who didn't want to get on stage before are now coming to audition for season shows and getting in because of the confidence we gave them. It's radical.
So how has being an intern in the camps helped you not only in Kids-N-Co but also outside of Kids-N-Co and other things like that?
Well, Kids-N-Co in general gave me the confidence to be the loud, outgoing person I am, which I think it has done for a lot of kids. But being in the camps specifically, it taught me how not to be afraid in front of an audience. I used to be not okay with presenting when I was little, when I first came. But of course now, being in the camps and being here just at all has let me present in front of people without stuttering, or has let me look people in the eye while I'm talking to them, or just being me. Like, I have this huge circle of friends because I'm so loud and outgoing because of Kids-N-Co. And being in the camps just helps solidify that because you get more training, you get more help, and they just point you in a good direction to go. Like, now I know what I want to do with my life. I had no idea when I was 13. I was like, oh no, I have to go to college in 5 years. What am I going to do? Now I know. Now I'm going to be a musical theater major. And that's Kids-N-Co's doing. Because otherwise I would have gone into like biology.
Thank you, Rachel. This has been like really interesting talking to you and finding out more about our camps. So Classes begin April 5th through June 7th. The beginning acting classes are 9:15 to 10:45, intermediate acting classes 11 to 12:30, film class 12:30 to 2, and costume design by appointment. Now we'll be speaking with Chiara and Rachel about our current show, In Neverland. So who are you guys playing?
I play Tinkerbell.
And I'm both the White Rabbit and Smee.
And I'm the caterpillar, but okay. So how has the show been so far? How do you think the outcome has been?
It's gone really well, yeah. This is my first time doing it, so I have no experience from other shows, but I've enjoyed it a lot, and I mean, the play has gone really well.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a great reaction from the audience. We've gotten big audiences so far, and I think that's really awesome. And it's a really fun cast. This is a great cast to work in. Everyone's a lot of fun, and it's great.
So I'm gonna ask you both, what's your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show, I would think, is just seeing how it changes from night to night, how people become more accustomed with their character, what they change, if someone misses a line, how they fix it, just how, though we've rehearsed it a million times, how it can be totally different once we're actually performing.
My favorite part of the show is the fighting, because I like stage combat, and I've always been like the person, so I've never got to fight, but now I'm very scary and I get to use a sword, and that's fun.
I think my favorite part of the show is probably in the actual play, the ending is just really good. So you need to come see the show to know what my favorite part is. But anyway.
Heart-wrenching.
So how have you liked our costumes and our set? How has that turned out? What do you guys think?
Oh, well, the set is absolutely amazing. Just because I was here when we had nothing, and I came back, and suddenly we're in this forest, and we have mushrooms and fog, and it's just really become Neverland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are mushrooms, by the way.
The set has a lot of work that went into it. I was too lazy to come and paint. I admit to that right now. They had painting days, and I was like, nope, I'm going to sleep. But a lot of work really did go into this. There's so much detail on the trees and just the mushrooms. It's amazing. The costumes are fun. My favorite costume is my White Rabbit costume, because I get this jacket that has all these tassels and things all over it, which there's a funny story behind.
Yes.
At Tech Week. At Tech Week, they put me in a really, really tight pair of pants, and it's a really, really tight jacket. And at one point, I have to get onto the stage in the first 3 scenes or so. And when I went to stand up, I got on all fours, and I couldn't move past that, because if I moved past that, I would rip the jacket, or I'd rip the pants, or I'd rip both, and I didn't want to do either. So I just looked at the girl who's playing the Queen of Hearts, Paige, and I was like, I'm stuck. And she just looked at me, she's like, what do you mean you're stuck? I'm like, I can't move. And she's like, and everyone backstage was really confused, and I had to lay down on the ground, and I put my arms up, and they took the jacket off, and I just got up, and I'm like, okay, where were we?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Tech Weeks are for, to weed out the problems.
Yeah.
Costume malfunctions.
Yeah, the makeup is also fantastic. I just get here, and I become a fairy. They paint me green, and they give me wings, and I'm so glittery. I've just left glitter everywhere I've gone. It's just been really cool.
There's glitter all over the dressing room, just from her.
I can track where I've been, even on stage. It's just a little glitter fairy trail.
Yeah, and it's really interesting how the makeup, how everyone's makeup, every single cast member has makeup, how it all ties in with both stories. We have to do a lot of makeup changes, and it just morphs from one character to another character from the different stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Chiara, how has your experience been since this is your first time working at Kids-N-Co?
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's just, everybody here is so friendly and welcoming, especially since I have never done anything like this. I've done ballet performances, I've done dance performances, but getting up on stage and speaking is entirely different. And just having people who are willing to help me and willing to let me learn and just friendly about it, it's amazing.
How has it been with learning the lines for you and like all that?
The lines were pretty easy to do. I just think it's really fun because Tink is so angry all the time. I just get to go up there and throw fits. And so even if I do forget a line, it's not that hard to figure it out because when in doubt, I'm screaming.
Yeah, that's true. How has it been playing your specific characters? I know both of you have very interesting characters.
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Tink is kind of, I don't exactly want to say ditz, but she's kind of your typical teenage girl. She's emotional, she screams a lot, she thinks everything is everyone else's fault. She's very insecure, but it's just really funny because she's also this crazy magical fairy. And it's been really fun for me to play because she is so extreme. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, most of the characters in this show are pretty extreme.
Yes. Yeah, well,
Rachel.
I see everyone
love
looking at me.
watching you. Your character is so funny.
Oh my god. White Rabbit's very nervous and I'm late, whatever, but Smee is kind of scary. I'm scared by
scary.
Smee. As Smee, I have a couple lines here and there, but I'm on stage more so than I have lines. So I really just try to make myself present on stage.
Yes.
I just run around and I mutter things that aren't words at people. I walk around, I'm like,
Yes, I'm on stage with her a couple of times, and I either want to just cringe or burst out laughing on
Or a
any
little bit of
second
both.
she's talking or walking around.
There's a couple times I get up in her face and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Treasure? And I could just see it on her face
Yes.
and she's like, get away from me. Get away.
It's really fun because these people are so extreme, one end or the other, and to play that and to just react like that is really just the most fun you could have.
Yeah, and it's been a pretty fun play since all the characters, like, they're not typical characters that you're gonna get in every show. It's really special, all these people.
Yeah, watching the combination between the madness you get in Alice in Wonderland and the excitement and craziness and kind of just childish ridiculousness you get in Neverland. And combining it, you just get this one big thing of, I don't know, craziness. But it's really cool just how it all melds.
Right. How do you guys feel the audience has reacted to the show?
A lot of kids are scared of me. We go out to the lobby and thank the audience for coming afterwards. And I shake people's hands, I high five kids, but there are kids who just, I'm like, high five, and they're like, and they walk away, and I'm like, thanks.
That's how you know you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's really fun because for every audience, every night, they laugh at different things.
Yeah, that's really
So I
interesting.
can never predict how an audience is going to react because there are always these one-lines that everybody laughs at. And then you get this one expression or one line that people laugh at, and you're like, oh, hey, that was funny. I didn't know that.
Every different audience is unique,
Yeah,
and then you
it's-
learn from that
it's
on
just
what you should do more,
how to respond,
less.
yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, the kids have been fun, just coming backstage.
Yeah.
And they're like, hi, Tinkerbell. And they're so tiny. I don't know. It's just really fun because I'm Tinkerbell to those kids. I'm not Chiara. I am Tinkerbell. And that, I don't know, that's just fun.
Yeah.
Markie, how do you like playing Caterpillar? Since you've gotten to ask
Yes.
us all these questions, how do you like playing the character?
It's really fun. It's a really interesting and big character. It's nothing like I've had before. It's like Caterpillar is very like haughty towards everyone, and that's been pretty interesting playing that kind of character. I've never well, I've had characters like that, but not this extreme.
Yeah.
How do you feel about all the makeup you have to put on?
Oh, the makeup. It takes me about 45 minutes at the least to get all my makeup on, so that's been really interesting. Luckily, I don't have any makeup changes backstage, but it's been pretty fun at times and really tiresome at times, but you get used to it every week.
Yeah. I love your costume though. I know it's really hot because it's like this giant green thing. 'Cause she's a caterpillar.
Hands.
Yeah, with multiple hands. But they move with her, and just watching that is really fun.
Yeah, at first it was really difficult moving around on the set, but everything about the show has gotten better every week and more interesting for every show. So, Thank you, Chiara and Rachel. We'll be continuing In Neverland until April 13th, Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 2:30. In Neverland is a wonderful family show that everyone will enjoy. This has been Que Paso Kids-N-CO. I'm Markie Condra, and we hope to see you here soon.